What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are here. I'm here. You guys know who I am, Matt McCoy, and I am here with a very special broadcast. It's Thursday. It's usually Access Wealth Nation, and this is kind of a crossover show. It's a special report from the mayor, myself, and we will be doing Access Wealth Nation to a point, but we have the entire crew here at Soul City who was with us on the historic trip to Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We just got back. I mean, we literally, I think I just walked in the house about maybe 45 minutes ago. And I had to set everything back up again and set my computer up and get everything ready, with the lights up and ready to roll just to do this. It ain't perfect, but we're going to do it because we got some breaking news and we got some exciting news to share. And we're going to have some fun. So this is really a crossover show. And we will be doing Access Wealth Nation right now.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be lethal to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.
Greetings, and I am not Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse. As you can tell, well, this is Access Wealth Nation. This is the Mayor's Forum. This is breaking news. This is the crossover. And coming to the screen, you know her. You've been waiting for her. She just got back from a very historic week in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Black Wall Street. And we're all out of breath. I'm still out of breath dealing with it. I mean, literally just came back from a 5-hour flight and 2-hour layover. And we're here. We're going to do this live, let you guys know what happened, what's going to happen. I just got off the phone with the mayor in Lansing, Oklahoma, which is right next to Tulsa. And she's supporting what I'm getting ready to do, and the other mayors will be doing it. But let me bring in the one and only, the woman who won the first prestigious Wall Street Legend Award for being Wall Street Pioneer Award for being the first Black woman to serve on Wall Street as a full service broker. Here she is. You know where you love her, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse. There she is.
Greetings, and Lord knows, yes, we have been traveling, but it was all good, all good. I mean, this was a part in your life when you turn around and you go, this is priceless. It's a wonderful experience. It's a bittersweet experience because a change is coming, and with any birth, there's some pain, and but with change, they say the only one that likes to be changed is a baby with a wet diaper. So change is rough, but it's necessary. Our world is changing, and I'm so thankful to it. I think our ancestors are truly praising us, and we don't have to be apologetic for who we are and what we stand for. I think that this is a time when the truth has to come out, and they say one of the most rawest truth is the naked truth. And we got a lot of naked truth while in those, what's it been, 7 days in Tulsa. We've gotten a lot of information, and I think it's time for the change to take place, even on a faster moment. So thank you so much for opening up my show.
Yeah, we had no idea what the hell we were going to do, how we were going to do it, and I just said, you know what, let me just go on and get everything together. And I know I look tired. I am tired. We all are, but we
I'm
couldn't.
tired, but I don't look tired.
I know. There you go. So, but we figured we had to bring you guys the information. We had to share the information firsthand, quickly. We'll do more shows on this, and after we get the videos together and we edit everything and create whatever we're going to create from it, you'll see more and more details.
But also,
yeah,
just to mention, if you have any questions or remarks that you'd like to share with us, please make sure you put it in the comment section. You know, I'm taking my show back.
that's you. Hey, I ain't mad at you.
But definitely share, you know, and as one of our other hosts says so well, go out and tell some people that we're talking about the 100th anniversary of the massacre. It was officially stated by Mr. Biden. Uh, I guess that gave it credence. I don't know, but I know it's been a
We'll
massacre.
get to him later. We'll
Okay,
get to him.
okay, yeah, I got you. But the massacre that took place, and the more and more we get deeper and deeper into it, before we left Tulsa, that was an eye opener. So I know we're going to bring on some other folks,
Mm-hmm.
now, and thank you so much, brother. Thank you. That's our
Yeah.
brother from Freetown
Okay.
Restaurant.
Oh, okay. There you go. You
And
know,
CBD dispensary, the only holistic CBD dispensary in New Jersey,
hmm.
Freetown. Go look it
America,
up.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the only one in America, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably is because these brothers don't play.
All right. So, Yana, let's jump right into the whole week. And I want to interview you on your show. Um,
Isn't that something?
uh, um, it was a monumentous event, moment in time, a historic moment in time. It's not coming back ever. The 100th anniversary, the Centennial anniversary is not coming back ever again. It is gone. It is not coming back. We'll have to wait for the 200th year, and we probably won't be here. Uh, but that being said, your award was special because you were the first black woman on Wall Street to serve as a full service broker. You broke that barrier. There were other black women on Wall Street, but they weren't brokers on the level that you were, and they weren't what you were. Even right now, and even then, it was only a handful at best. I think right now on Wall Street, there's only a handful of black women still on Wall Street.
It's a tragedy and a travesty that the glass ceiling is still in existence. There's a few firms like I have to give credence to Transamerica Financial Advisors, who was a rare broker dealer that stood up and said we wanted to participate in
Yes.
and in the acknowledgement, because we can't call it a celebration, but the acknowledgement and memorial of the 100th anniversary of the massacre in Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they are the number one broker dealer for women in the industry. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it has to do with the freedom that you have in this company, because we're not working for the company. We are independent brokers, and we get an opportunity to help everyone. And we get the opportunity to focus in and make our market. And as everybody knows, my market is the urban market because it's the underserved market. And being in Tulsa, it was even more evident of what we need to do to bring financial literacy to these communities.
Right.
Because we make so many, even if we get reparations, we will still not be ready because we don't know how to make our money grow. Mm-hmm. Hey, Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
One of our great supporters.
Great supporters. Great supporters. So Yana, and as you said, we have to give a lot of love to WFG and Transamerica for stepping forward and being a sponsor of the event, and helping out, along with the other sponsors who step forward, and the many organizations, the the Council of Mayors, who they actually threw the event. It was done by the Council of Mayors, and I believe I'm saying it right. I hope I am.
The World Council.
The World Council of Mayors.
Mhm.
And so it was mayors, black mayors from all over the country, past and present, uh,
That's right.
who were there. They're part of this World Council of Mayors, and they were there, and they put this event on, and made it happen. And it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it wasn't perfect, but for what they did at the last minute, and with the challenges they had, um, with there was a lot of confusion. We will say that much, and not on their part. Confusion on that week because there were so many organizations who were trying to do something for Black Wall Street and to celebrate the 100th anniversary, and people were calling me, well, what's going on with this event? I'm like, that's not our event. That's not the event we're involved with. What's going on with the John Legend concert? That's not our event. Although they did call us, they reached out to him, Jasmine, and said, hey, will you guys come by and be a part and film the concert? Um, that got canceled, and that's another story we'll talk about later. But there was so many events going on at the same time, and I'm gonna wait to bring everybody else in and talk about this, and I'm about to bring everybody else in real quick. But for this to happen, the World Council of Mayors to put this on, at the Dream Center, and again, I think the Dream Center was a good jump off point for us. The Dream Center, the dreams we had at that time, Black people had at that time, went up in smoke. Due to jealousy and racism and so forth and so on. If you guys don't know anything about the history of Wall Street, please go look it up. Please go look it up. It's one of the most important stories in our history, outside of slavery, of course. It was one of the most important stories of in our history because it showed how Black men and women came together and created their own universe. It was inside this racist country, and thrived, and where their dollar lasted for 3 to 5 years within the community. And yes, Shaylon, yes. And that money lasts for so long. The money in our community doesn't even last 20 minutes now in our community, and they had it.
The thing is that we've got to go back a little further to say, in this country, the racism, especially after slavery was so-called abolished, and then there was Reconstruction, and Reconstruction called for us to be able to do business and to set up business, but that wasn't our major focus. At first, we needed to learn and how to run our businesses. So there was a whole Jim Crow era, and in Jim Crow, you couldn't go and sit at in a restaurant. You couldn't use the bathroom. You couldn't drink water from the same water fountain. They had black and white, water fountains. I know. I call him a brother from another mother. James Wilkerson from Mississippi said that, even in his time, and he's younger than I am, that he even experienced where he couldn't go in certain places, or he couldn't, there was black and white water fountains. So here we go, a group of people. And again, let's emphasize, we're human beings. We are alive. We bleed, we walk, we talk, we eat, we're human. And for a group of people to say that they're better than we are, and then stop us from going places and doing things. So we had a choice. The choice was, do we abide by this and, get on the bus? You got to go to the back front of the bus, and then you got to get off the bus, and then you had to go to the back. And if the bus pulled off, you got to walk, nonsense. And so just because of the color of our skin And so we had a choice to participate or not participate. And I give it to those visionaries in uh, Greenwood. And Greenwood wasn't the only. There was 5 towns pulled together, and they said, we're going to establish our own businesses. We're going to do business with ourselves. You know, we're in a time today, history will repeat itself
Mm-hmm.
unless you correct it. And
Right.
that's what we're having trouble with here is today we're again asking for equality. Here it is 100 years later, and we still don't get it. You know, we got to set up our own. I'm not trying to tell folks not to boycott other businesses. I'm just saying, like Brother Sean Rochester said,
Mm-hmm.
stop boycotting our businesses.
Right.
And that's what I saw in it. That's the real aspect of Black Wall Street. You know, that this is a time when we said, we're not, look, I'm not begging you to take my money. I'm not going to beg you.
Mm-hmm.
So since I'm not, I'm going to create our own businesses. And some people said that it was not, they weren't educated people. That's not true. They were not talented. That's not true. We had people who were doctors, lawyers. You know, we had folks who were professionals that were carpenters. I mean, this was a town amongst town, and 5 towns pulling together of people of color, because we also can't eliminate our brothers who are Native American, brothers and sisters that are Native Americans who were there too
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, which really we're all one people. So I'm going to stop talking for a moment, but you see there's a passion there. I have gotten the spirit, and a change is here.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop.
Put up on the screen. It ain't the best cop again. We just got back in, ladies and gentlemen. We literally just got back in some less than an hour ago, or about an hour ago, and this is the moment when Yana got her award. I just wanted to share this with you guys, and then we'll bring everybody else. It's not the best copy, but I was able to pull this up real quick. So take a listen, if you will, to Miss Yana. Hope you guys can hear it.
It's not that.
Tara, I would like to also introduce Tara. Tara,
You might want to move it a little further. This was
Yeah, that's true.
introduce you, African American women in cinema in New York. But Tara also has presented and each year
I'm gonna forward it a little bit.
productions for the rest of my life. I am the president and founder of African American Women in Cinema, based in New York City. Thank you so much. Your check is in the mail. I would love to show my beautiful smile. And next time, I promise. It gives me great honor and privilege to be a part of this wonderful facility. A big thank you to Miss Patricia Muhammad, to Mayor Stevenson.
Another one,
to
Patricia Muhammad, Mayor Stevenson.
Honorable Mayor Ford. You are, I totally adopted you. You are my family member. God bless you. And to all of you here today.
I'm gonna fast forward some more.
And
Hold on,
my
give me a minute.
significant other I have to go home. So my significant other, thank you, Amadou. So I am here today to do a special honor, and it is my privilege to introduce this next wonderful and powerful honoree. We became very good best friends real quickly. I know her through her brother, which is a dear supporter of ours, Mr. Matt McCoy of Soul City Network, and we should give him a round of applause.
I paid for that.
Dr. Woodhouse, before I make mention of her, ask her to come up, I would like to show you a video, but also a big thanks to the organization Trans America Financial Network for their support in this and what they're doing.
I'll fast forward this part because it's just a Trans America commercial.
For changing the world and shifting the atmosphere, such as our former First Lady Michelle Obama, and also our present Vice President Kamala Harris, which I know they have a whole lot of things that are being pulled in different directions, as this is such an important time, and the whole world is looking at Tulsa right now. So a lot of extra activities are happening. But, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hand together to welcome our honoree today, Dr. Woodhouse.
Come on, we can do better than that. On your feet. Let's let her know how much we appreciate her. She's been very, very patient.
Well, greetings and good morning. To give you a little bit of a background of myself, and I'm truly honored by the World Coalition of Mayors and also my new sister from another mother, Tara Renee. Uh, but to give you a little background, I am the first woman, African American woman, to trade on Wall Street as a full service broker. That wasn't an easy journey, but it also was one that I talk to my young folks all the time. What you do is you continue doing what you want to do, what's in your heart, in your mind, and what God put you here for. And then if nobody tells you that you can't go somewhere, you just go. you know, and that's what I did. And I am truly honored and touched because it's one thing, as I've spoken to other folks, it's nice to be acknowledged, but it's even more deeper when you get acknowledged by your own people, and especially at a time like today. This this is to be here today and to receive the Wall Street Pioneer Award in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Black Wall Street. It comes full circle for me. And the reason why is that while I was in undergrad school, I had the honor not to be my teacher, but she was in our school at Fordham University, and that was Olivia Hooker. And she told us stories, but this is like a dream come true here. And so the beauty in this is that I know I'm supposed to be here, and that this was a blessing. You know, when I touched ground here in Tulsa, it was like coming home. Just like when I used to go to visit Africa and I spent the time there, I would come and I'd be home. So I'm home here in Tulsa. I just want to mention and be thankful. Yes, you saw the video from Transamerica World Financial Group. It has not been, let's put it that way, any financial institution that has stood up and said, I'm backing the African American community. World Financial Group and Transamerica have done that, and that's power. That's powerful. And so I'm honored and I thank them for the support. I thank the support for Soul City, the number one Black owned network in this country. I also, of course, I'm going to thank my family. Can't leave out the major man up in the sky there. It's God, But I also thank, my family. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. And my dad told me when I was 8 years old, he who writes the check is free. Girl, you got to get out there and write some checks. And the way you do it, you own your own business. And my mother was one who said, what you want to do, honey? Whatever you want to do, I'm there for you. I never learned the word can't. And so my challenge today is really just having that experience of teaching young people that there's an opportunity for them to be out here to bring financial literacy to our community. My entire crusade is to do that to our community. No community needs to be left behind. And I think the greatest example will be when we rejuvenate, bring forth Greenwood back to the level and beyond what it was. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone. I also My husband back there, George Brown, thank you for he puts up with all the stuff I do. And that's a powerful situation. So I just want to thank you all for this honor and just keep working, keep focusing, and above all, let's take this to the top where we are truly free. When we're free, we own and we manage our own and we buy from ourselves and we sustain ourselves. So let's keep doing that. Thank you.
There you go. All right. There you go. That was. I think that's the first time you saw that.
It is. It's very touching.
Yeah.
You just in the moment.
Yeah.
And sharing what your real thoughts are. That's my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it never changes. My story never changes.
And we were all watching. We were watching. I'm gonna bring the other people on right now who were there in the room who had to, like I did, the honor of sharing that moment with you. So let me bring on my right hand person and the head of marketing for Soul City, Miss Jasmine Pfeiffer, who's in her car, and we literally just got back, and she's still driving around.
Yeah,
The
usual.
the one and only our field reporter, one of our top shows, the choice on Soul City, the hostess with the mostest, the one and only, the Urban Cinderella herself, Miss Sandy Alexis is in the house. She was with us there. Sandy was interviewing. We'll talk about Sandy again in a minute in the wonderful interviews that she did, that you guys will see at some point. William Adams is not on yet, but he's supposed to be here. Our photographer. He took hundreds, thousands of pictures
Hmm.
over the past week that we will be documenting, and that's documenting this whole visit that we had. So Yana guys talked about when we first got there. I want to ask Jasmine and Sandy what they felt when they first got to Tulsa.
All right, you want to go first, Sandy?
Hold on, Sandy. When I hear you, Sandy. Hold on. My bad. Hold on. There you go, Sandy.
Um, First of all, congratulations, Dr. Yana. Like, it was such an honor and a pleasure not only to take this trip with you, but to see you be honored for being such an amazing person and an inspiration to all of us. That was first and foremost. I was happy to be there with the champ, with the winner. But I think at least from my side, I had like this whole idea in my mind, like what it was gonna be like when I land, when I touch the ground. And my initial day, it wasn't as much because I had this intention from all the story about Greenwood being a black town. So I thought even if we were still in the midst of rebuilding, I would have seen a lot of black businesses still, because I was like, I was saving some money, like, oh, I'm gonna go spend it on Black Wall Street. I'm gonna get my nails done on Black Wall Street. I'm gonna get my dry cleaning done on Black Wall Street. So to get there and that wasn't feasible. It was kind of disappointing, to say the least. Yeah.
You said disappointing.
Yeah.
Disappointing. How again?
Because I had like I'm saying from my initial thought, what I thought was going to happen. Like I thought that there would still be black business, like
Gotcha.
they got burned down, but it was rebuilt and there was still black business.
Right.
It was still like a strip of black businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't the feel that I got. It was pretty much gentrification
Pretty much.
maximized.
A few black businesses there. I think there was a restaurant, a couple of spots that were black, but they didn't own the stores. They owned their store, but they didn't own the building. They didn't own the property. There's a lot of buildings going up in that area. Remember, we had a couple of times we had to drive around because of the stuff going on, and we had to drive around all these new buildings going up. We know aren't being built for us, and that was interesting. Jasmine, how did you feel?
It's I have mixed emotions. Landing there in Tulsa was my first time in Oklahoma, and you hear a lot about the history of Oklahoma and how great the neighborhood was, just how great the community is, and it was a good and a bad experience, kind of bittersweet. Because going there, you can feel the unity and the pride of the people who were there. You can see that people appreciate what Tulsa was. But I say it's bittersweet because it's not what it should be or what it could be, right? A lot of the people there, they don't own the land, they don't run the businesses. The banks, I don't know if the banks are, but it seems as if maybe the banks in the neighborhoods or in the areas aren't helping the black owned homeowners and businesses to buy these properties or rebuild their houses. So the resources don't seem like they're available. And it just doesn't seem that what Tulsa was when you had a full healthy black community funding their own businesses. It doesn't seem like that's there anymore. There's not a black business district fund that's being funded to help support black businesses. So it was bittersweet. It was a spiritual experience to feel everyone there, to feel the energy that was there, the happiness that was there, the pride, the joy that was there. And you can feel like this sense of kind of empowerment when you go there, but you don't see it. And I guess that's why I say it's bittersweet. You feel it, but you don't see it
Mhm.
as much as you should. So yeah, that was my experience. But it was lovely. The food was great. Shout out to I think the restaurant is called Mama G's. Mama
Mama
J's.
J's, I think it was.
Mama J's, man, them catfish strips were crazy delicious. Oh my gosh. But yeah, shout out to a lot of the restaurants and a lot of the boutiques, the Greenwood Museum. Um, it was just an amazing. It was a good experience. It was eye opening, and it was experience nonetheless.
And I will join Jasmine in shouting out people. Shouting out the wonderful people of Tulsa, the black
Yeah.
people that we encountered, the many black people that we encountered, which is really just really good people. They were there for the
Mhm.
festivities and taking part in some other way. Ariana, who on our last day there, got
Yeah.
the best stuff that we had when we were there. Took us around some
Mhm.
really wonderful places, and we had a chance to interview Felix Jones, ex ball player for the Cowboys and Steelers, and how he owns. We'll talk about that. We'll let Sandy talk about that because he interviewed him. Uh, and but William Adams is on. Let me bring William on real quick so William can. What's going on, William?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, good, brother. Good, good, good. We're just celebrating the memories of what we had, and so you, as a photographer, behind the scenes you were taking shots. I don't even know what you took because I was busy doing what I was doing. Jasmine was doing what she was doing. Sandy was doing what she was doing. And Yana, of course, was just being regal and being served all the time. So we don't.
I was
You
the
were
talent.
everywhere. You were everywhere taking
Yeah.
pictures, man. And I can't wait to see this
Mhm.
collection of historic pictures that I know you got. But
Wait a
what
minute. Before you start to say anything, I want you to know you have a star in our presence. William was on Fox News.
yeah, so what?
He had a picture. He taking pictures, but people taking pictures of him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Uh-huh.
Sandy was on the
And
news too when we
Sandy.
first got there. The first day we was there,
First
Sandy
day.
got on the damn news. People walking through the street, hey, I saw you on the news. And so but Will, man, your perspective from your view from behind that camera,
Mhm.
talk about it. What did you see? What did you experience? What did it touch? Did it not touch? Or how did it touch you? And doing your job that you were assigned to do.
Well, to be honest, I'm still processing. So
Uh-huh.
much went on, but yeah, there was just so much activity going on from so many different directions. As a photographer, a lot of times you're really not aware in many cases of actually what's going on until after it's over, because the thing is you're trying to make sure you capture everything that's at the center of attention at the moment, and then keeping a side eye on the what you would consider the minor things, but in some cases they become major when people reflect after the pictures have been taken and being shown. So covering two territories, um, But there is one thing, I don't know how far you guys have gotten in. My mind has just been weighing on one particular thing
And what was that?
since I've been back. We went to that last location, which was the Center of Secrets, I think.
Secret. Yeah, Center of Secrets
Center for Public
for public
Secrets.
secrets. Right.
Yeah, and it was just mesmerizing to me to see how big and well organized the hate machine is.
Mm.
And it's just been overwhelming. And then when I got back, I had to go over off 125th Street, and I was just looking at all of our people, and I was saying to myself, if that machine is that well organized in such a small country hick town, which I would call it, imagine what's going on around us that we don't see here in the major metropolitan. So I'm still processing.
And and I think like the photos you have to process and the videos that we have to process. This I don't think we can give it justice. I'll say, and whatever we create from it. We'll do our best to bring out the amazing energy that we felt in our souls. But I don't think we'll be able to give it justice, and for various reasons. And I'm going to go to both sides of the coin. Before I ask Sandy a question, there was some pros and cons for me, and I'll be honest with that. In saying that, I was thrilled, happy, and proud to be a part of this historic time. That they would ask me to be a part. They could ask BET, they could ask, say TV1, they could ask Oprah, what I'm saying, or any of the other black-owned networks to be there. But they asked me, you know, and it was my time to show the world my team, what I'm saying, and let Jasmine do her thing, and and let Sandy be beautiful and amazing, and let Will run around with that camera and stuff, and show people what he's going to have. So, but the pros was that. The pros was the people, the amazing energy, seeing the historic sites, and the walking our feet, touching. I wish, and I wanted to, and I didn't. And I'm kicking myself that I didn't do it. But I'll go back when I go back again. I'll do it. But I wanted to take my shoes off and walk on the ground barefooted, so that I could feel the energy through my toes and through the soles of my feet of the ancestors, and their energy of building their own black walls. You know what I'm saying? And I'll do that. Next time to go back. The other bitter part for me was that I felt, and this is me talking, that some of the politicians took advantage of the moment for themselves.
Yeah.
Joe Biden took advantage of the moment for himself. Instead of showing up at the Dream Center with Kamala Harris, like she was supposed to be there, instead of showing up and getting your award that they were going to give to you, now they got to mail it to her. You know what I'm saying? For being the first black female vice president, first black vice president. But for Joe Biden to hold his own separate event on the same day that we were doing the walk, the Century Walk, I believe it was called, and where, if you guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I am wrong at any point and I am miscategorizing any of this, please let me know and I will apologize for it. But that walk had to be rerouted some because of his. They cut off some of the streets. They cut off some of the areas that we were supposed to walk to first for that walk because he was there.
We were supposed to go on the tracks.
Right, on the track. Yes.
That lasted, the tracks that our ancestors that were in Greenwood, that they ran on. I had, as you said, it would have been nice to touch the ground, but it was kind of rough. But I would say is I had the blessing to feel what it was to be on those tracks. Uh, as we were doing the sidewalk, Will, in his brilliance, uh, um, told me get out the cart
Right.
and go to the track. And I went to the track, you know, and I'm glad I did, because that's
I'm looking.
something we
I'm
don't know
looking
when
at
they're
it.
going to pull that track up.
Yeah.
The whole aspect of making things disappear. And that's why I think that this group, the Center for Public Secrets, is so important. And I too will have still not processed, even after reading all of each one of the individuals that's inside here that orchestrated this horrific event. You know, it I still haven't been able to process, and I do understand why, because we come from a people who don't do this. You come at me and I'll come at you, but I'm going to try to reason with you to see why this is not something you should be doing. Okay, but there's no reason when you have planned for 3 years to demolish my good, my city, my town. When you spend and calculate, and only for greed. But I will say, and I'll stand on it, and I don't care what anybody thinks about what I say, is that there's no difference in what's happening right now.
Mhm.
That means we have not straightened this out, because we're daring to repeat history. And we need to stop this now, because the next generation should not have to go through this. And so we have to make a change. But to know that someone is so evil, even to the extent, Matt, you know, what you're saying, that President Biden, instead of showing up, Kamala, you know, don't know what happened.
Sure.
You know, might have been miscommunication. I don't know. But
Sure.
I do know that they did know one thing, that this event took place on March the 31st.
Mhm.
And that first bell that went off, that train whistle went off at 5:08 on June the 1st. They knew that.
Mhm.
You can't be in a position of where they are to not know. So if it was me, and I'm not going to judge folks, but if it was me, I would want to be there on the day that it occurred and not disrupt what the people were trying to do. Yes, there was disruption. Yes, it wasn't perfect. Nothing in this world is perfect. The desire and the spirit, we are a spiritual people. So the desire and the spirit to do something, to pay homage to these ancestors, that's what was done. So, no, it wasn't perfect. No, Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, did not come. No, Michelle Obama did not come. But you know what? My heart and my heartfelt experience had nothing to do with them. The politicking didn't care. You know why? I had the first African American mayor in this country
Yes.
to stand by, Mayor Foley.
Mhm.
Somebody.
I had Queen Mother Blakely,
Mhm.
who coined the phrase, owns the phrase,
Say it together. Cut the check.
Cut check.
Cut the check.
check. You
Right.
know, those were experiences. We have a tendency to celebritize people, you know, make them into, you know, oh, you know, they're coming, you know, Charles Rangel's this is all politics. I'm sorry. When you've got these grassroots people, these were grassroots people who set up Tulsa. So, and Greenwood, you know, Archer, Pine, these are the people, you know, and we walked those streets and we felt that energy. So, you know, I'm not going to say, you know, it was their loss for not being there. It was their
But, you know, again, and maybe I'm overplaying it, but you know, maybe that's just how I am. When I just feel totally disrespected, I just felt that they disrespected us. They disrespected, I mean, us meaning the black people, the black community of Tulsa, by not participating in the community events. You could have come out and walked hand in hand with the people who were there and took that century walk. You know, and you didn't have to set it up where the train tracks were blocked. You could have just said, okay, fine, we're gonna block off this whole area, where everybody's so the president's safe because we understand he needs to be safe, and but you could have come out with the people. You didn't have to stand by yourself. And to me, it's grandstanding. It's um, asking, putting the attention on you when the attention should have been on the people and the moment. And yeah, he
Right.
said some things, and he called it a massacre, and that's great. Thank you for doing that. So, but you should have said that with the people. You should have been there with the people when they were saying it, and when they were a part of it. So that's what bothered me the most, I think. But then again, and that's that's me. Um, I did, and Sandy, you can speak to this. I did though find great joy in going to the mansion that Felix Jones owns now, and again, former player for the Cowboys and the Steelers. And I remember Felix from well, not long. I mean, he just played not too long ago. A couple of years ago. Um, and I'm not sure why he's not playing anymore. If he got hurt or whatever the situation is, um, but that he bought this mansion and he turned it into a place that the community can come to. In the community, he had the hip hop artist. We did not get a chance to meet with the hip hop artist who recorded his CD there, but we
Yeah,
did.
that was Steph
Right,
Simon.
right, Steph Simon. But we did get a chance to talk to Felix a lot, and he, and again, here's a brother who took enough pride in his community and the community in the moment to stay around and wait for us. So, because we were late, what I'm saying? We were trying to do a lot of things that day. He had other things to do, other meetings to go to, other things to attend. He waited for us. He waited and he waited and stayed with us. He sat down on the steps of that mansion with Sandy and had an interview with her for a half an hour, saying and answered questions from people. Why did you buy this? Why did you, do this? What is your goals here? And, so if this black man can do it, spend his money and say, hey guys, come here. I will embrace you. I will be a part of this moment with you for this week. Biden could have did the same damn thing. What I'm saying?
And it's great what he said too as well. Although he purchased the home, he welcomed community to call it their own too as well. That was real powerful too.
Yeah.
Sandy, talk about that moment with Felix. Um, um, and how that was for you, and how do you think other people felt as you walked the house, as you talked to him and sat on the steps to interview him? What
Um,
was your moment like?
yeah, before I get to the home, what I felt from the time that I stepped foot in Tulsa until even I got to the house was the whole event was divided in two parts. One, it was political, and one side was spiritual. And the fact that we got to embody the spiritual part, I think that's why we probably got more out of this trip than most people that were there that just went to grab the story and left. So they didn't even get to have the
Mhm.
opportunity to go to the mansion. They didn't get the opportunity to even go to the Center of Secrets. Why? Because they were over here doing political stuff the same way with Biden. He was doing political stuff.
They
So
were
there's a
getting
lot of
sound
things.
bites. They were getting sound bites.
Yeah, so there's a lot of
Right.
things that they missed. Like even Queen Mother on how I say honoring the first black female mayor ever to be chosen as a mayor and to a queen mother, to
Mm.
see all of these things take place in a
Yes.
situation where it was supposed to be so like so much damage has been done, but to see like there was healing portion of it, like we were not just talking about the damage, we actually saw healing being done. So that's probably one of the things. So get from all of that and being able to see the house, first of all, walk when the first sight of it was just like ah. And I think what took my breath away, like it stays in my head the most, is standing on that balcony.
Yes. Yes.
Like taking the tour of the house, it was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
okay, taking the tour of the house. It's nice, it's a big house, and outside of the he killed himself there and they were planning this destruction there. But The moment when he stood on that balcony and we overlooked and saw that we could see Greenwood from here, and knowing that this man stood there every day, it's a bittersweet feeling, because I'm like, I can imagine how amazing, like where he was saying how amazing it was. Like, are people dressed nice, thriving? They got their own airplanes, they have their own metro service, you know what I mean, movie theaters, and you know how we do music. So they have the Gap Band and all these amazing things happen. And he's standing there on his balcony being miserable, and just every essence of the word hate probably sipping out of his pores. So that was the probably the most revealing thing to me. And to see Felix standing there in that same space, and he could overlook to Greenwood and see, like, now I'm looking at it through different eyes,
Uh-huh.
through
There you go.
different steps, through a different lens, through a different heart. That was probably the most memorable thing for me. That was what you call karma.
Sandy, before we go any further on that moment, I think we need to tell the viewing public who doesn't know and that wasn't there and hasn't done research on it yet. That mansion that Felix Jones now owns was owned by, I think, the Grand Dragon
Mr.
Cooper's clan or something like that,
Yes,
in
Mr.
Tulsa.
Tate Grady.
Okay, and so this is where this man planned a lot of the attacks on black people. A lot of strategies were done there in his home, in that mansion. And matter of fact, we went to the Center of Secrets, of Public Secrets. They had, and actually, we took pictures of it. And they had a whole wall of all the black people. I mean, sorry, the white people who were part and their nicknames and the thing, and his face was up there, as the
As the terrorist.
there you go. So and how they planned destruction of black people and Greenwood in particular. Black Wall Street. I don't just pure jealous evil. But for this man to buy that mansion, and so I'm gonna take my money that I made playing football. I'm gonna buy this mansion, and I'm gonna turn it into something positive for the community. Where we, as you said, standing on that balcony and looking over, you can see, wow, I can see the highway. I can see the highway to Greenwood. I can see, what I'm saying, the university. I can see the skyscrapers that, the few that were there. We can see the area. We can see what we can do now. We can see the future from that balcony and how we can rebuild. You know what I'm saying? And that's and you're right. That balcony was a very, very special moment for all of us. Um, and then then you interviewing him, which was absolutely wonderful interview. I can't wait to show it, about his story and why he bought it and what he wanted to do with it. And he's a very nice guy, very you know that's not necessarily a soft spoken guy, but just not somebody who's,
Very humble.
yeah, very humble. That's the word. Not
Yeah.
seeking the limelight. Saying, hey, look, guys, I'm glad you're here. I opened my home so you guys can be here, so that you can see it and be a part of it. And so that was a what part of the interview was, Sandy, that stood out for you? Can you remember
Um,
what stood out for you?
when Dr. Yana had spoke about all the survivors that throughout this whole trip and this whole conversation about Greenwood and Black Wall Street, they've always played them in their old age. And the fact that they never really played them,
Mm.
like, this affected them when they were young. And everything that we do, especially the reason that we're arguing right now, we're talking about generational wealth. And this generational wealth was stripped from them, not in their old age, but at the tender age of 9, at the tender age of 7. So these 7-year-old kids got to see this trauma, and here it is, they're living with it 100 years later. So to me, that was like, that's why I started the interview when I asked him, like, as a young kid, and he said that he always dreamed of living in the house. He always wanted to know what was inside that house. Like, he would leave his town to ride his bike to go and see things. And that's one thing we say in life, period, is if you could see it, then you could have it.
If you see it, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah, you're right.
yeah, so the fact
And
that
he,
he said he was what he like, he would ride his bike, and he always like, I should live in a big house. Like, I want to live in a big house like that. I want to see what's inside that house. And for here it is now, 2021, and
Right.
the owner of this house killed himself in 1925, but was part of the destruction in 1921.
Hmm.
So I don't. He didn't even really get, like, after the trauma and the destruction he caused. He didn't even really get to live long after that. And here we are with the space in 2021 with the intention of longevity for us and for our children's children. So I feel like that's a big staple piece and statement. So the fact that 9 years old, that he really seen it, I think that's probably moved me the most, because I mean, everything we do is to feed that little kid that was in us that had
Mm.
dreams, and to
Mm.
see those dreams come to fruition.
Mm. I'm gonna ask everybody a question. I know Sandy has to go soon, and that that must be Storm. Uh, and does and stuff. I'm trying to work and be manly, and he'll say to fight back and see my sister Yana up there getting this prestigious award, the first person to get it, standing there with the first mayor or the first black female mayor ever in American history, who's there also with her. So that was my greatest moment. Number one, that's the selfish moment. Uh, but my second greatest moment, that will live in infamy for me, and I'll make some announcements real quick. Hopefully Sandy will still be here, but I'll make the announcements. But some things that are happening. I mean, things that just happened like over the last 20 minutes and stuff that's happening. My phone is ringing off the hook. People are calling. But my second greatest moment was, my dear Queen Mother Blakely that cut the check. You know what I'm saying? To hear her continuously at every moment she got to speak, and it was quite a few, you know what I'm saying, during the event, that she got up there and she talked about reparations and, you know, a down payment. She didn't say payment. She said a down payment of $3 trillion. Uh, and all Biden, he doesn't need to say anything. He doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need to bring those Secret Service out and cut off the streets. Just cut the check. You know what I'm saying? Cut the check. And, that was the rallying cry, I think, for me and for a lot of people during that whole time period. Because she started from day one. Saying it never stopped, cut the check, and it got better and better as she went along. Where she was even rapping, saying "cut the check," saying. So, Sandy, I'm gonna go to you, in the interest of your time, your one or two greatest moments.
When we told the Tulsan people that we were a black network, it was like there was a twinkle in their eyes. They felt safe to not only share their story with us, but to go find stories to
Mm,
bring to us.
mm.
Definitely.
That's deep. You said they felt
Hmm.
safe to tell their
Hmm.
stories to us, because you're not only just with other black networks, quote unquote, but we are the only 100% black network. Um, and for you to say that they felt safe to tell their stories to us, that's deep. I didn't even know that, but that's deep. Go ahead, give me another one. That was
Yeah, because I mean, when we went to the lost and found and said, we lost our land, we're trying to get it back.
mm,
And the young girl was like, "Don't talk to them, they're media." And then they looked at us again and felt like the need to tell us the truth about why the concert was canceled.
The,
Why?
the the deep details.
Yeah, so that was probably one of my major things. And the other thing was, it stayed in my heart, was when the first black mayor started crying and was talking about
mm,
how her roof was caving in and things like that. And I remember a
yes,
story from a long
yes.
time ago how there's so many land where the descendants like live on, and how the government gives them absolutely no help. Like, there is no sanitation there, the mailman barely goes there, the amount of distance they have to walk to get their mail, which I don't think is fair. Like, why is it that, like I asked Whitney, like, why is it that you guys feel like you guys have the right to say what happens with the tax money, as if it's only your race that pays it, and the black people don't have no say so, or the benefits of their tax money when they're paying taxes as well. So that was one of the biggest thing. And the fact that the way we came together, I noticed, like, I felt like that was a seed. If we could all come together like that for a roof, We could all come together like that for a strip. We could all come together like that for a town, and we could all come together like that for a city. And that's what we did for Tulsa. We all came together for
Mm,
the city,
mm,
the soul of the city.
So see, here you go.
Right.
Um, I'm gonna some of the stuff I want to share right now. But I'm gonna go around the room before Sandy leaves. Will, what was your one or two greatest moments?
Oh, the greatest moment was that same program when Yana received her award, where all the leaders were lined across,
Oh yes, I
and
yes.
yeah,
Come on,
Yes.
bro, talk about it.
I mean, it was just amazing to see in that one room the amount of powerful black people that were there. It was
Mm,
enough to, well, I shouldn't say it was enough. It is enough to change the whole outlook of where our people are going from here. And Diana's twofold. You know, she has the wisdom and the knowledge to handle and manage that money, but at the same time, she has the wherewithal to educate the people going forward from here. So um, the power is just there, and that just blew my mind as well. And
I
then
think
the transfer of that too from the Queen Mother.
yeah, and see, well, that is you bringing that up, man, and thank you because I totally forgot to mention that, and I'm fighting back tears now again, because when we
Aw.
have the opportunity to recognize and honor greatness, and to see the elders recognize it.
Hmm.
Um, and when Queen Mother Blakely, gave Yana the card and told her that she is now the keeper of Wall Street.
Hmm.
She is now uh, the ambassador. I forgot the term that she used, but she is the
He
keeper,
told me I was the banker.
the banker. Right? So,
Right,
short form, Yana is in charge now.
right.
She got the charge to be in charge from Queen Mother Blakely, and to me, ooh, that was powerful to see that transference of love, energy, and power from one queen to another. Um, and I wish
Aw.
more children would have been there to see it.
Right,
Yeah.
Um,
right.
yeah, Jasmine, you do yours.
So it's funny I want to pick up right where you left off. Because one of my I didn't know who Queen Mother Blakely was.
Okay.
I had no idea who she was. I did a little research on her prior to the event and some of the other people who were going to be there, but I didn't know who she was. And to see her at her age, so lively, and not even that she was physically lively, but spiritually lively. Like
Mm,
you can walk next to her and feel like you can feel tired and just wake up immediately as soon as you sit next to her.
right,
She
right.
just like beams off this positive energy, and
Mm,
it's just you can feel, you can smell the wisdom, like the hunger, the happiness, the passion, the empowerment when you're around her. And I love to be around people like that, and I get that feeling when I'm around you and Yana as well. And then don't let it go to your head,
yeah.
but you guys give off that energy as well, that feeling of inner greatness, spiritual greatness. And I
Right.
love to be around that kind of energy because you don't find that kind of energy often. But one of my favorite parts, outside of Yana getting her award, and just being honored, which should have been honored
Long
that
overdue.
way a long time ago. It was well overdue. I had the opportunity to have a conversation with some of the mayors. We had a private forum
Yes.
after the event,
I was gonna bring
and it
that.
was kind of like a think tank we had, and I had the opportunity to speak with one of the mayors, Mr. Sims, and we had this conversation about passing down a torch. And I brought it to his attention. I said, why is it that there isn't younger people in this room? Why aren't there people my age, people in their 20s? Why aren't people's grandchildren in here, right? We should be hearing these conversations,
Mm,
and not only hearing the problems, but we need to also hear the solutions to these issues that you guys are presenting. And he
mm,
said, I really agree with you, and that's why he's positioning his son and other people, and creating these programs where they're grooming these young men and women to take these positions of power and carry down that torch. And I think for me, that's a key thing for me, because it doesn't matter it matters what was done in the past, but if it's not being transferred to the present or the future, then it means nothing to the future. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I feel I was thinking about it the other day. I said, it's we need to learn our history, position ourselves in our present, and take back our futures. And I feel like those three things are important. We have to position ourselves now to be able to financially take back our futures, to be able to create these social structures through education, and being able to govern ourselves. Like the routes, that the fact that the descendants don't have mail routes. If that
Mm,
this, I mean, this is black. This is the old Black Wall Street. Create one. Do it yourself. While we waiting for them, you don't have transportation. Create one. Just like
mm,
a lot of places, like in New York, Queens, Jamaica, Queens, Far Rockaway, Queens, parts of Brooklyn, they created their own taxi services outside of the trains and outside of the buses, so that we all can get to where we need to go on our own. And that money gets spent in our community and gets circulated back into our community, because these people live in our community. So I think it's important that we regain and tap into that mindset of passing the torch, and thinking forward, not forgetting our history, but thinking forward and how we can re-implement what was going on in the past into the future.
mm-hmm.
So that was one of the highlights of my weekend, was being able to have that conversation in the room with some people who are in positions to make that happen. To me, that was important, and I appreciate that.
It's funny you say that, and ladies and gentlemen, as you watch this, we're coming up with stuff that I forgot to mention, because with so much stuff
Yeah.
that went on in
Mhm.
the 5 days that we were there, um,
Mhm.
and so much stuff packed into those 5 days, that you try to remember. Okay, well, I did this day, and I did, we're remembering some key points for ourselves. But Jasmine is right. When Yaya and I got asked to be part of this special secret forum, special secret panel, I couldn't. They didn't want me to broadcast it. They didn't want. There was a closed room. They wanted me to film it so that I could have some filming. And that's why Jasmine was actually in the room.
I
Uh,
had to figure out how I was going to get. I was
so,
thinking all night how I
uh,
was going to figure out how to get up in that room.
but I'm
Oh,
so glad she was, because she mentioned it to me first, and I was like, well, yeah, you're right, um, and then some kind of way, as always, she found her way over to the mayor and was sitting down with him, talking as I was talking to somebody else about some other stuff, and we came out of that meeting with a lot of interesting opportunities. I'll
yeah.
put it that way. Um, and if we actually work them properly, every single last one of those opportunities that I saw are so phenomenal and such a game changer for our community that um, I can't even begin to tell you, how wonderful it would be. And again, the bottom line is we can't ever lose sight that whatever greatness we achieve, it affects the world. It doesn't just affect us; it affects everybody. Everybody benefits from it. Black, white, Asian, whatever everybody benefits from us being the spiritual beings, as Jasmine put it, that we are supposed to be. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We influence everything. And the world vibrates on a different level when we're vibrating properly. So there was so much to do. Yana, what was your outside of you getting the awards and the charge of Queen Mother, you know, uh, all the
That was kind of high.
yeah, all the people asking for your autograph and stuff. What were the moment or moments that stood out in your mind?
Okay, I have another one because there's so many. Of course, receiving the Legacy Award from the African American Women in Cinema.
Mhm.
But the joy that brought me that day was when you received an award for the
Oh, yeah.
distinguished
Yes.
Mhm. Forgot about
gentleman
that.
from the ladies.
Oh man, hilarious!
And I thought that was just so,
I
it
had no
made me
idea that was
so
going to happen.
proud that it was a surprise. And it really was a surprise. It's hard to surprise, Matt.
Yeah,
But
I be throwing people surprises like crazy as shit. I take joy in doing that.
right, but you didn't get that one.
Shit, I did not. I did not.
And And that was that, as they were talking about the person who was receiving the award, I knew who it was, and I said, "Oh, they got him."
Because I was in another room working, setting up the cameras and making sure everything was right for the next interview that Sandy
Right.
was going to do.
So
And
that was so awesome to see you get your just dessert. So
yeah, that caught me off guard. That did catch me off guard. I was like, I was dressed for the movie and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wait a second, I'm dressed like this. Back then, I had to run out there real quick and then, accept this award and make a real quick speech. But yeah, that did catch me off guard. You had a different another one?
yeah, and my other really was more of a sidebar. And that's one of the things that I think that we don't do enough is to talk on the side. Some things, my mother always told me, the left hand does not need to know what the right hand is doing. And I had a real serious sidebar. A matter of fact, unfortunately, it took place while the talk for the Mayor Foley was going on. I had not a clue of what was happening in the room because I was outside the room and we were doing some wheeling and dealing. And it brought to mind what the visionaries of Black Wall Street, which we know is Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, those townships, even Taft, where she was the mayor of, to know what they did. They didn't go and broadcast because, I always feel like we talk too doggone much.
Wow.
But the fact is, and I will never say what those conversations were about, but the conversations I was having out there was blowing my mind.
Right.
And that they're going to continue. We're going to take this to a level. What came to mind for myself is that when Tulsa is free, financially free, all of us will be financially free. It's like back in the days, I know some of y'all too young to know about it, but when South Africa and Nelson Mandela was still in jail, and we said, when South Africa is free, we as a Black people will be free. We will all be free. We have to understand our connection. And so the next level was being in the room with those mayors and hearing the same words. And when we went to the mansion, there was a picture of the visionaries that started Black Wall Street as we know it. And I looked, and there was a moment, and I think I see it right, but in the midst of all those men, there was one woman. She's in the middle of the photo. And I said, there I am. That's where I go. Because I have in the room, when I was asked to attend in the room, I was told, you may be the only woman in there. I said, I don't care. It's been there before. Been there, done that, whatever. The key is that energy and that focus. So that was what, and I also have to give accolades to a dear associate of mine, Linka Holtzman, who was watching this ceremony. She and Allison Thompson, who were not there in the room, but contributed, and not contributed lightly, money, real money, to the situation that was happening with the mayor, and the same thing with Kathleen Hopkins. There she is again, supporting, sending, participating, not physically there, but spiritually there. So that was powerful because that's the only way that I found out something was going on. My phone was being lit up with folks saying, Yana, can you put the money in for me? I'll send it to you. Put the money in. I'm like, what money? And so when the young lady I was talking to and myself, I said, wait a minute, we got to take a pause. Something's going on. And we got in the room and I ran to you and Jasmine and said, what happened? And when I heard what happened, I too threw my not little 2 cents, but I threw in some money. Because we have to do this, but we have to do this for all situations. And the biggest situation is Tulsa, because that area, along with, I believe it's 27 other townships in this country that were Black owned and destroyed because of racism. And that's what we have to talk about is the fact that this is racism. This is destroying our legacies,
Mhm.
and I love Sandy anyway. She's phenomenal. But when she asked the the director of the Center for Public Secrets, how would you feel?
Mm.
Oh, that was
Was.
like the icing on the cake because people don't want to, we pussyfoot around.
Yeah, she was a white woman, and
You know, a white woman was asked, "What do you see about reparations and reconstruction for?" And she, I appreciated the fact that she said, I've never gone through what you've gone through, so I don't know how I would feel."
she gave the proper answer, and she said, "Look, I've never experienced that. I don't know how it would feel." You know what I'm saying? And so I can accept that because that's real. It's not, she wasn't, grandstanding and making shit up as she was going on to make herself look good.
Mhm.
She was honest.
Right.
But that was powerful for, it takes a good reporter to ask the hard question.
Mhm.
And that's
Yep.
what Sandy did. She asked the hard question, the one that everybody is thinking but not asking. And the only way
Mhm.
we're going to rectify this and stand on our own is to ask those type of hard questions.
You're right.
What are you going to do? Are you ready to give? Because what was in my head, and I will shut up after this, but um, the people listed in this book, I think, there was at least five of them that are in the
Hall of
Oklahoma
Fame.
Hall of Fame,
Yep.
which says that they're being mortalized and memorialized
We need.
for their treachery.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, what's his name? Brady. Yeah, he took the easy way out. He shot himself.
Mm-hmm.
Some ancestor got him. And so, but the thing is that each one of them needs to give up the land. They need to cut the check. Okay, each one of these people, they need to cut the check. And their family, because I asked the question to the woman, which was, she was very true about it. She didn't want to seem like she didn't want to answer it fully, but I asked her, I said, "Are these people's descendants still alive? Are they still in the area?" And she said, "Yes." Okay, so if that's the case, let's go get this.
Mm-hmm.
They got to give it up. If you want to make it right, reparations doesn't have to come just from the government. Give up what you stole. Give it up. Give it back to us, and there
Mhm.
are ways to get it done. So I'll take this time and this moment in the show to say it. We coming for you. I'm coming to help. We
Mm-hmm.
coming for you. There's a way to do it.
And you know what? And people take that like, oh my God, they're making threats. No, no, we're just making promises. And we're also doing what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of times black people, I feel, are afraid to do or say what's right because they think it's not politically correct or people want to take it the right way. And no, Sandy asked the question. That was correct. Correct question to ask. Direct question, blah, blah, blah. The lady answered it properly too. So I give her great credit for that. She was a wonderful human being. Because we want what is ours doesn't mean that you still can't have wonderful things yourselves. You know what I'm saying? You probably will find that once we get what's ours, you'll probably flourish even more. You know what I'm saying? And we're not asking for anything that's evil, you know what I'm saying, or that's unjust. We're asking for what's right, what's rightfully ours, we're the only people on the face of this earth that never got reparations. The only people. Other people, and God bless them, not taking anything away from their plight and their suffering. Nobody has suffered the way we have in this world. Nobody.
Well, also, which was also interesting when we went to take the walk, our brothers and sisters who are Native Americans, for
Thank
lack
you.
of another word,
Mm-hmm.
spoke up and said the land that we're walking on is their land.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got to, that's that thing that I still can't get in my mind, how folks tell folks to go back to to where they belong. And yeah, we are right where we are. This is our land, you know.
Right.
And the beauty in it was also when Queen Mother stood up and she said, I have the connection to the homeland, which is true. And she says, and I am a Cherokee Indian. To let people know that the people that they consider Indians or
Native
Native
American.
Americans or indigenous people look like us.
Mm-hmm.
And someone stood up,
They were
and
asking.
I think it was one of the mayors who said it, that all of you out here are connected to Mother Africa, whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But go check your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
You're connected. So we got to stop this other crap and stop coming for us and judging us by the color of our skin and not the content of our character. The
Yes.
change is here. It's here. And cut the check.
Cut the check. So,
Cut the
so
check.
I will make some real quick announcements. And so again, we will have. I'm gonna get Queen Mother more on soon with Yana.
Queen Mother Blakely.
I'm Blakely, and
Blakely.
Queen Mother Moore was the first Queen Mother,
She was,
and
and pay
so
homage to her.
yeah, it's her name sticks in my head, but Queen Mother Blakely is the new Queen Mother, and that's a very prestigious title that people don't understand. But we will have her on. She lives in Harlem, and we will. I've known her for years and stuff, and we will have her on. But we are going to do something I'm working on right now, and tomorrow hopefully I can solidify it. That we're going to do something with the Black mayors who are running for mayor here in New York, and we're going to bring Miss Foley down and do something with her here in New York, here in Harlem. And we are going to be doing just solidified it 5 minutes before we came on the air. We will be doing from this point on the Black Wall Street Soul Achievement Awards every year from Tulsa. And we've solidified that deal. Mayor Stevenson is working with us on it, and we will be doing that along with Tara Nay from African American Women in Cinema, who I have to thank greatly, because it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. Wouldn't have even been there. Um, and she made sure that we were the Black network that was there. And so we, the Black Network, Soul City, will be charged to make sure that we do this Black Wall Street Award show every year from Tulsa. And it'll be a 3-day event. As of right now, one will be a live concert, and that will benefit the community. And the other, the Black Wall Street Award ceremonies, of course, that will be celebrity driven. And then we will do a real economic summit on one day and really do this right and bring the true people with the answers to the forefront. That's going to be very, very powerful. So that again, that just went through 5 minutes before we went off the air. I got off the phone and had to switch on to here real quick. So my phone was on Zoom. So a lot of great things are coming from Soul City, and I am so happy for every single last one of you guys for being there with me this week for various reasons. All of you have a special place in my heart for various reasons, different reasons, and a lot of the same reasons. But the one connecting things I think every single last person on the screen here uh, is that you have a connection to the people. You want to connect to the people. You want to help the people. You want to, what I'm saying, it's not, we all want to get paid to do stuff, and we'll make money, and we make money, and we do things. But, if the people are being helped, we'll be all right. We'll get our rewards, from being able to help the people, because it can happen simultaneously. It doesn't have to, but I have to get mine first, and then the people get theirs. Why can't the people get theirs first? And then I get mine. It's not so. I publicly want to thank every single last one of you on the screen for your work, for your tireless efforts, for your putting up with my craziness and my ranting and raving at that time, and the way it was supposed to go. Nothing that I was supposed to have there happened the way it was supposed to happen. So we had to just figure out, just like, do it this way. Let's make this happen. But I think what we did gain from it was the future. We gained the future. We gained the ability to shape the future too. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be molders of the future from this point on. You know, and in Tulsa and here in America. So again, I just want to thank you guys for that. I know, Sandy, you got to go. You still here?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah.
But before I leave, I wanted to say something. I wanted to thank somebody that it was such an honor. Laurel Stratford.
Yeah,
It
thank
was
you.
an honor. It
Yes.
was an honor. It was an honor to not only be
I meant
in
to mention her
Tulsa,
name.
but to be able to sit with the descendant and
Right.
to know that she was on our team and we brought her in. It meant everything. So Laurel Stafford, thank you so much for sharing your story, for
Boo.
keeping your family story alive. And it was without her, nobody really knew what happened on the elevator. But she said her grandfather wrote it in his book. So it was good to get that story from
Thank
a
you,
different
Sandy.
person. So
Thank
thank
you.
you, Laurel. I
I
just wanted
meant
to
to
say
mention that. I meant to mention Laurel. We will be doing some more stuff with her. For those
Yes.
of you who don't know, Laurel Stratford is the great granddaughter of J.B. Stratford, who was one of the original founders of Black Wall Street. And she has all the information. She's a dynamic woman herself, a very successful woman herself. And shout out to Jasmine for working with Laurel. It wasn't easy. There were some challenges, and God bless Laurel and God bless Jasmine for dealing with it and putting it up
Yeah,
and
we had only 2 weeks to get her
yeah,
here.
make sure that Laura
It was
was
a
there
short amount of time,
and
to make the arrangements.
get her
And Laura
there.
was she was so passionate. She wanted to be there. She
Hmm.
is such a doll. I love her to death. I got to call her again today,
Hmm.
just to say thank you again. She's a
Yeah, so
sweetheart.
Laura
Nice
Another
Stratford,
family.
person that we're leaving out of our team and that was very special to making sure I was properly put together is Leonard Davis.
Leonard Davis.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Leonard is a team
fashion guru.
player, and
Fashion guru.
that was exceedingly. I couldn't have done anything without him. He
Right.
was here,
Hmm.
and Vivian Harris, the designer for me. I had Bernard Giles
Hmm.
for the makeup. I'm like,
Bernard, the makeup expert, the guy who does the makeup for all the celebrities, all the fashion icons, all the you name it stuff.
Michelle Obama.
Yeah, Bernard is the man. And you know what? That goes to show you that even you're seeing us on the screen right here, but behind us, there's a whole team of a whole lot of other people who are helping and working out. You know what I'm saying?
don't forget Melvina,
Alvina, Cassie, all of them
Kathleen
who
Hopkins, LaQuinn.
help out.
I mean, they gave their heart and their soul. They were almost willing to put their own money in to get themselves to Tulsa, because not for the notoriety or the experience, to really be there for us, to help us. That's the kind of stuff that the Tulsa world is built on. It's not about me. It's about, getting this done and getting the message out. These people are awesome.
Yeah.
And, we may be in the forefront, but we are standing on some real powerful shoulders that we
And
have.
those people need to be brought to the forefront more and recognized. I'm glad that we're mentioning them. I don't, I could really care less about awards. I really can. I was shocked when I got that one. That I definitely did. They got me on that one. I did not, to that I was going to do that. But we did find out also that we're getting another award coming up soon. Another award, another big award at some big fancy award ceremony somewhere else.
Oops.
All right.
I gotta say, we left out George
George always being there.
George Brown. We can't leave him
Yeah,
out.
I know. I mean, it's really, it's a long list of people that is
Mhm.
part of, unofficially a part of, but always a part of, always there for Soul City. But that's what Tulsa is Soul City. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And the spirit of Tulsa lives in us, and everybody that comes through to help us. Some people come and go because they can't deal with the spirituality of it all. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. For those that are around us, they're Gina. Even gotta say Gina too.
Oh
And
yeah, we can't leave out Gina,
um,
Stacy Robbins.
Stacey Robbins, Stacy, yeah, man. The press
No,
releases that went out and stuff.
my press release went
I
out.
knew press. I knew press. What color? I knew had the press and stuff. Everything. Yeah,
Our head of media publicity.
publicity, right?
We got to come up with something
Yeah,
great for her
publicity.
because
That's
she's
the term,
great.
publicity.
You know,
Yeah. There's a whole list of people that actually are behind us that help us that don't have to, and because
Yeah.
oftentimes we don't pay them to do it. So I'm be honest with you, we don't. I think I don't have the money. Saying to hire this person right now to do this, but they like I got this. I want to do this. What I'm saying because they see the strength and the power in what we're doing, and they see the ability to help other people. What I'm saying, and they will be rewarded very, very soon. I'm saying they will be rewarded. I'm all about rewarding people and taking care of those who take care of you in the smallest way. Down to the housekeepers at the hotel and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Who put up with our junkie room all the time. Junkie rooms and stuff like that.
your junkie room.
So sure. But it's funny. We were just in disarray. Just stuff everywhere, trying to figure out. Well, let's bring this. Let's bring this. Let's not bring this. We don't have no way to set this up. Not enough power for this. Yada yada yada. And we just bought a whole bunch of stuff, man. And but again, how God works. When you do things, even today. Coming from Tulsa, we have a big production bag that we carry that has a lot of stuff in it. Some cameras and some lights and stuff that we need for production. A big heavy bag, and it's over the weight limit of course, to get on the plane. So they're going to charge you $100. Saying for it being over the weight limit. And there's no way I can take anything out of that bag and make it well below the weight limit because we had nowhere to put it. There's no other bag we can put it in. Every bag was packed. But when the lady noticed that we were media, because I had my media badge on, and then some guy grabbed it before we left, and someone told me the spirit said, "Grab that and put it on. Don't put it in your pocket. Put it on." Guy didn't put it around my neck, and we got there, and she realized she saw us. "Oh, you're media." I said, "Yeah," and she said, "Oh, well, it's free then." I was like, "What's that?" She said, "Yeah, media gets one bag free." So I was like, "Oh, ain't that a blessing?" You know what I'm saying? So, little things like that is God in action. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that is God in action, to make sure that we're always taken care of. And the creator sends, wonderful people like all the people that we mentioned to help us and make sure that we're there. Leonard texted me 100 times today. You guys get back. You guys all right? Did it go well? Blah blah blah. Saying so. We give thanks, and those of you who are watching, who faithfully watch every week, who are part of whatever show we're doing, whether it's Access Wealth Nation or Love Diaries that I do, or The Choice, with Sandy, whatever show you're watching and participate in, we appreciate you. We appreciate you because you don't have to watch us. You could be watching something else. You can turn on Channel 7 and find something there to watch, but you watch us, and it's here on social media. Some of you watch us on TV when it goes on TV, but we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate who you are because, your help helps us to be stronger, helps us to do more. And it gives you more to talk about what we're doing and spread it to other people. So,
And I throw out one more name and then I'll stop.
Here we go.
Yeah, Dan Brown.
Dan Brown, my
Dan
man,
Brown.
Dan the man.
Dan, the man with the plan that makes sure that I can.
All right.
I'm a poet and now I know it.
Dan.
Held down my office. Who in the world in an investment and tax office can go away for a week?
Mhm.
And it wasn't easy. And I want to thank all of my clients because y'all were some serious folks who could have just said, "This woman crazy. This I need my taxes done." But I'm good at what I do, and I'm not going to shortchange anyone. So Dan held down my office. Dan and Philippe both held down my office so that my clients would not suffer, well, so that I can stand out there and do what I have to do. So, like you said, this is so many people that we stand on their shoulders to make sure that we get what we need to do done. And that's what's happening. The door is opened right now. And so
Right.
the change is coming.
Yeah, and there's still stuff I haven't even mentioned yet, and I won't. I'll just let it just take place and
Let
materialize.
it
You
move.
guys will just find out about it as it happens or right before it happens. But again, I'm gonna let you guys go. I know we're still tired, from that, traveling and
Oh yes.
hanging out,
Oh
and
yes.
I do appreciate, again, once again, Jasmine and Sandy and Will for hanging out with me this whole entire week. And while Yana was getting her awards and getting her rest and in her hotel room, we were sneaking away to get a couple drinks and unwind and have some fun, before we
Eating
get to
chicken and catfish.
yeah, huh? Yeah, we were doing our things.
Catfish. Look at Will's face.
Catfish.
That catfish.
That
Yeah.
catfish.
We were testing every restaurant in Tulsa to see who made the best drinks. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, yeah, but I definitely appreciate all you guys. Love you guys dearly. So
Love you back.
I'm done. And anybody got any last words they want to say?
Well, appreciate you for the opportunity to bring us along with you and making Soul City a success in what we did.
Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, that coverage was phenomenal for us to get. And
It wasn't easy.
it was just, it's still it ain't easy. And to think that we pulled it off and we're home now and nobody got hurt. Saying it's still a wonderful thing. And but we're gonna keep going and keep doing this. Like I said, next year is gonna be the bomb.
Mhm.
Because now they put me in control. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? So now I am in control of making it happen and stuff. So yeah, it is on and stuff. So I'm pulling out every stop and every connection I have to make sure this thing goes off each and every year, in a fabulous way. So so we're done, man. You guys go get some rest. Sandy, I'm quite sure Storm is still sitting looking at you. Hey, what about me? You know, and my man Storm and stuff. We have to give Storm a job soon and stuff. Um,
You know.
and but well, thank you, brother. We'll talk about those pictures, man. I think those pictures are probably gonna be even more powerful than some of the videos. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking forward to seeing those pictures and those candid moments of uh, especially when Yana got the charge and stuff.
Hmm.
She is the bank. She is the banker and stuff.
I
So
thought I saw a tear come out of Yana's eye. I don't know.
I was like, yo, this is getting deep and stuff, man. And to have that room full of people standing up and applauding and recognizing that, oh wow, we can do this. We can bring this back even better, and we have
Hmm.
somebody that can do it. We
Right.
have
Yep.
somebody that knows how to do it, that's been there in the belly of the beast, that knows how to navigate the waters, knows how to save us, knows how to keep us wealthy, knows how to give us the
Hmm.
plan for success. So that's gonna be that. It's gonna be fun to watch this thing develop over the next couple of years, and watch other people come in and get involved. And I have a feeling some people are gonna hate us, and that's not what's gonna be the case. But I got a feeling there's gonna be a lot of people from all backgrounds and nationalities and races that are gonna want to help us and want to be a part of it because it's right and it's fun, and they're gonna flourish from it too. They're gonna benefit
Right.
from it too. You know what I'm saying? So and that's okay. That's okay. We just can't suffer from it as we always do. That's the difference. We can't suffer from things. They can benefit from it too as long as we ain't suffering. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So guys, I'm gonna disappear.
Wait, don't disappear. I
Um,
want, I want, I want to leave you
yeah,
guys with a poem that my
oh, here we
designer
go.
shared with me on my way to Tulsa.
Okay, cool.
So it says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. 1994 inaugural speech of Nelson Mandela.
Yep, I recognize that speech.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize the speech. And again, when they ask you, "Who are you?" I will just say my name. That's who I am. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. Matt McCoy is excellence. Jacqueline Pfeiffer is excellence. Sandy Alexis
Damn
is
right.
excellence. William Adams is excellence. Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse is excellence. And
Mhm.
whoever's watching this, look in the mirror and state your name and say that you are excellence.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We are descendants of excellence.
Right.
Walking, talking, having the ability to do something great. So go out there and do it. And with that, love you guys. I'm going to disappear. We're going to disappear. And Yana will be back with her regular show next week by herself. And we'll have some more fun. But you guys will get more details about the Black Wall Street events and projects. So talk to you guys later. Thank you guys again for coming on with us the last minute. Talk to you later. Peace and blessings.
Good night.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.